Good afternoon. My name is Suzanna Lubar. I'm the Planning Director for the City of Albuquerque. On behalf of the Planning Department, the Metropolitan Redevelopment Agency, and our Historic Preservation Section, I would like to welcome all of you to the Blacksmith Shop and thank you for attending this press conference. The Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway locomotive shops, also known as the rail yards, was once a vibrant and critical part of Albuquerque's economy, employing about 1/4 of our community. Sadly, the rail yards have stood vacant and in disrepair for many years. Through a public-private partnership with Samitaur Constructs and in accordance with the Metropolitan Redevelopment Code, the city hopes to redevelop and revitalize this iconic property, preserve its history, remove blight, create housing opportunities, and stimulate economic development, not only for Barelas and South Broadway neighborhoods, but also for the city as a whole. We are here today to update you on the status of this amazing metropolitan redevelopment project. As you might imagine, a project of this magnitude requires not only the vision of what could be, but also the hard work and dedication of many, many people. Since taking office, Mayor Berry has been enormously supportive of redeveloping the rail yards, and he has asked his administration to work diligently with Samitaur Constructs to bring this site back to life. In the meantime, Mayor Berry initiated the renovations and interim special event uses of the Blacksmith Shop where you're standing today in order to activate the site and to provide the community with an opportunity to experience the rail yards. So without further ado, I give you Mayor Berry.
I want to thank Susie Lubar and her whole team for their can-do attitude this whole process. She's a great director for the city of Albuquerque, and we appreciate all of her efforts. Well, I could not be more excited today. We are standing in a place that has been a vital part of our past, and it needs to be, and it will be a vital part of our future. And I think the partnerships that you're going to see today are going to be instrumental in that. This has been a long time coming. We started this. Councilor Benton's been working on this for a number of years, even before I was the mayor. But we've been working on this almost since day one as the mayor. And back in 2012, Samitaur Constructs was selected by the city of Albuquerque to be the master developer for this site. Since that point, they've been working hard to develop a master development plan for the rail yards, working with all the stakeholders and partners that are really instrumental in making this successful, and they have done that. We are excited to announce that last month our City Council unanimously approved the Rail Yards Master Development Plan, as well as the Master Development and Disposition Agreement. Today, both documents were signed. This is a really important milestone in the redevelopment process of the historic rail yards. The Albuquerque Rail Yard site is an important piece of our city's history, as I mentioned. It was instrumental in the development of our community and in many ways, this part of the United States. Together with the Planned Innovation District, which you've heard a lot about, just earshot from here, if you look straight out this door, the old First Baptist site, the rail yards will bring new life to this area of our community and spur redevelopment within this most important part of our core. It will create a center of innovation and entrepreneurship unlike anything, in my opinion, that the city of Albuquerque has seen, at least in quite a while, if ever. We also hope that the site will draw visitors and residents from around the world to our city's core. Our community is excited about bringing the rail yards to life while preserving its unique history. So what's next? Samitaur Constructs will begin pre-development activities in anticipation of the larger redevelopment, and I know Frederick and Laurie will be talking about that in just a few minutes. These may include conducting studies of the site, meeting and negotiating leases with potential tenants, working with the State Historic Preservation Office, performing any necessary site remediation, and preparing architectural and engineering drawings. The city will continue to be a strong partner with Samitaur on the redevelopment of the rail yards, and I count as one of the great opportunities from my time as mayor, this opportunity to work with Frederick and Laurie and their great company and their great partners. We will work to identify and assist with applying for grants and loans and provide other support to ensure the Samitaur construct is successful in this endeavor. Finally, I'd like to thank all of those who are here today and who have supported us and worked hard to make this happen. The Rail Yards Advisory Board, the Borellis and South Broadway Neighborhood Associations, the Wheels Museum individuals who were so instrumental in getting this property purchased in the first place. Without these individuals, this project simply would not have been possible. And of course, Samitaur Constructs has been a steadfast supporter of the redevelopment of the city's community planning process. With their experience on similar projects, and I've visited their other projects, I've seen them firsthand, and their passion for the rail yards and the way that they go about this redevelopment, which I hope they speak to today, the city knows it has selected the right team for this important redevelopment. The City of Albuquerque staff has also been instrumental, and I want to say thank you. The Family and Community Services Department, our Planning Department, our Legal Department, the City Council offices, all the staff. I see the City Council staff is here with us as well today, and everybody to develop this master development plan and then negotiating this MDDA. And finally, Councilor Benton, thank you. You have been a tireless proponent of the rail yards for many, many years. You've had a vision for this, and I count it a great honor to work with you, the executive, the legislative branch, on making this a reality. This is not going to be a fast deal. This is going to be done right, and it's going to take some time. And if I have any indication from watching Frederick and Laurie do their work in Culver City, California, the old Hughes Aircraft area of the city, and their work with the communities that surround that, I have a lot of confidence that between Borellis, South Broadway, our other partners, that this is going to be a place for people to have an opportunity. And for this to be architecturally significant, from an economic development standpoint being significant, from an innovation standpoint being significant, from a cultural standpoint with wheels and all the other things that we do here and that we want to do here, this is going to be a spectacular deal. But I think it's going to be an organic deal as well, and I think it needs to be. I don't know what your plans are. I don't want to, put words in anybody's mouth. This isn't going to be one of those situations where you put a fence up around it, have hammers swinging for 6 months, pull down the fences, and voila, there's something. I think this is going to be much more interesting than that. And the work that I've seen happen in Culver City, it's a piece at a time, it's a part at a time, it's an entrepreneur at a time, it's individuals that work in the community at a time. And I know that Frederick and Laurie will talk about some of the things that they've done with the youth community and others in California. So I'm very, very excited. As I said earlier, it's taken us a while to get to this point, but this is a great day for the city of Albuquerque and for the rail yards, and I couldn't be more proud of everybody that's involved. So thanks for having me come today.
I have come to realize that it is not enough for a community or even an administration to believe in the redevelopment of a property. It also takes a supportive city council. And this project has been fortunate to have the full support of the entire City Council of the City of Albuquerque. Councilor Benton in particular has been an incredible advocate and a believer in the yards since before the city had even acquired the property. And in fact, he and his staff have been instrumental every step of the way. Accordingly, I'd like to ask Councilor Benton to share a few thoughts with you at this milestone. Thank you.
Thanks, Susie. As was said, I've been working on this, I guess it's been about going on 8 years now that we started to put together the program and the funding to acquire the rail yards in the first place, and to come up with a process, a public process, because this is a public-private partnership. And I'm thrilled to have this particular partner. I think we vetted that partner several years back during the process of putting out a request for proposals. And it was a very, very public process, a very transparent process, and sometimes that does take some time. Sometimes it can be frustrating. But fully agree that Susie, Director Lubar, and her department have been so important in helping to make this happen, and the commitment of the mayor. I think one thing about Mayor Barrett you realize from the get-go how important this site is to the city of Albuquerque, and how important it is to get our citizens to come down and see what's going on. So we already have activity here in this building, thanks to the mayor and his commitment to really showcasing this incredible historic, incredible architectural marvel that we have here, and really nothing like it in the world. If you really look around in an urban area, to have an intact, structurally intact facility like this. But I also want to thank the Raw Yards Advisory Board members, all the people who served and volunteered their time. The neighborhoods, South Broadway and Borellis, really grew up around this facility and around the rail yard. There was a Borellis before, more of an agricultural community, but really the urban Borellis that we know today grew up around this site, and with most of its residents working here at the turn of the last century. And we're hoping that again, as it organically evolves, as the mayor said, I fully agree, this is too big a project to suddenly see something tomorrow. We got this building up and running. It took us a couple years, right, Mayor? Even that was a challenge. I mean, these buildings had not been occupied for years and years. So the ability to gradually develop this entire site, we're living up to Frederick and Laurie Smith, and we really believe they've got the capability to do it. And we want to put the wind behind their sails and see them perform. But we do look forward to seeing the development of the site. And again, there are way too many people to thank as to those who were involved in this, but including the state government.